in. We got some space today for you. Although, I'm not sure. Do you like rules? I like rules. I do. Growing up, I never liked rules at all. I just didn't. I challenged every single rule in the book until one day I figured out that some rules are good for you, and some rules are just life. There are just certain rules that are just there because that's the way things work. So we'll talk about a few of those today, 7 of them actually, that if you use, life is going to be a little better for you. There's nothing crazy. Don't worry about it. I think you're going to like it, okay? Now, I know you will. It is the Daily Boost from motivationtomove.com, the positive boost you need every single day, no matter what gets in the way, and stuff's going to get in the way. We're going to stand up, take a step, repeat, and we're going to go after it and go get it. My name is Scott Smith. I'm the founder and the chief motivating officer here at motivationtomove.com. I need to get that out the way because I've been forgetting to introduce myself, and there's a lot of people coming in here, and they don't know who I am. Who's this fast-talking dude that's saying some cool stuff? I've been in flow state. Have you been in flow state? You know what flow state is? It's in your mind. It's in your brain, I guess. Well, it's in the brain. It's this place where you get in and you're just uninterrupted and you're just flowing through the process, a creative flow state. And that's how I do these podcasts. When I show up and do the podcast, I do at least 5 at a time. And I go in flow state, which is why I say I never edit. And the reason I don't edit, I will go back and edit big mistakes out. But I don't edit much else out. And the reason I don't is because I want to be in a flow state when I deliver. It's going to be what it's going to be. And whatever it's going to be is usually better than a little bumble or stumble here or there. Although there are some people who would disagree with me. And that's okay. This world is made for people who disagree with others. Good to have you here today. Let's talk about a stoic life. And let's break it down to maybe 7 rules. Now, if you follow Stoicism or Stoic philosophy at all, and you know I do, and you know I like it, I'm going to give you 7 kind of hand-picked little rules I pulled out today. Stoic philosophy covered every single aspect of life. These days, a lot of philosophy is broken up and taught by different people. Back in the day, it was a school of philosophy where it just covered everything. So I reach into it. I pick out a few that are going to have an impact on you. And if you pay attention, it's probably going to work. But some of this is 2,000 years old. Oh, Scott, this is 2023. We don't need to pay attention to things that are 2,000 years old. Yeah, you do. Nothing's changed. Always goes back to the basics. Folks have figured stuff out long before you did. But they didn't have the internet or AI. Thank God they didn't. They had to think. And all that new stuff we have today, the internet and the AI, it's all based on the people and the stuff and the writings and well, you get it, right? So for those of you who think, hey, I'm brand new to this world, I know everything, I can get out and change everything, you can't. You'll learn that eventually. And if you've been alive more than, let's pick a number, 45 years maybe, and you still think you're the one that rules the world and you don't have to pay attention to the rules, you might want to wake up a little bit. It will help you do that today. Scott Logic. Okay, number 1. If you're going to learn and succeed, be humble. I'll add to that, you should serve as well. But be humble. Be surprised that people go, oh, wow, that was nice, thank you. There's always someone more intelligent, more successful, and wiser than you. Always. And I know some of you don't think that. And some of you just don't think at all. Or maybe you're like a guy like me that is in the business of doing what I do in a podcast and on stage and writing and everything else, having to build that self-confidence. And sometimes it's pretty easy to walk on stage thinking there's nobody in this audience any better than I am. The truth is I know every single one of them are, or at least different than I am. Hundreds of people that are more intelligent, more successful, and wiser. They just don't have a podcast. If you're going to learn and succeed, you got to be humble. Find the right scene. Choose your friends and your situations. If you want to rise in life, you can't allow yourself to be held down by others. And one little caveat to that, and a lot of folks are really into social media these days. I was going to say I'm not for or against it. I guess I really am not. I see great things in social media, but I also see very bad things in social media. But here's the thing. If you're scrolling through a Facebook feed, or probably worse, a TikTok feed, and you're just scrolling through it, you are being let into the lives of people you don't know, you don't understand, you have no idea what their situation is, and you're just picking up bits and pieces of influence in you that in fact become your friends, and the situations are influencing your life. So if you're going to do it, at least do it actively and consciously. At least pay attention to what you're reading. Don't just let it seep into you. It's like reading a book with all kinds of scary stories and bad stuff just before you go to bed. It seeps into you and boom, you're in trouble. Same thing with TV, by the way. Don't scroll mindlessly through TV. Select your friends and situations. You're going to become just like them. Protect your time. Seneca said, we are tight-fisted with property and money, yet too little of wasting time. And one thing about which we should all be the toughest misers. Life is short. Don't waste your time. I have these days moved off chronological time to the best that I can. I still, yes, I have to check a clock and stay on schedule, but I've moved to a more experiential-based way of thinking in terms of time. It's been life-changing here in the past few months. It's fantastic. We'll talk about more of that more in the future here. The fourth one, never do anything out of habit. Always think about how you can do things better and always question yourself. Now, this is why I step in a little bit, because I actually think that you need to do things out of habit. In fact, you're going to do a ton of things out of habit. They're going to be wedged way down in your brain, and you're just going to do them. We have to do things out of habit because that's how we get through our day without having to think about every little thing. So once you've already thought about it and you've established the habit as being one you're okay with doing, do you have to think about it anymore? No, but if you establish a bad habit, you probably know you're doing bad stuff. You probably should think about that. So I look at this and I say, listen, let's establish good habits so that we don't have to think about them anymore. We just execute on those good habits, but always think about anything that we're doing and find a way to do it better. Question yourself with it. You'll be surprised at how much you do. If you question it, you'll stop right then and there. Number 5, keep it simple. Do your job. Approach every task as if it were your last, because it very well could be. Now, if you don't like what you're doing, you might want to rethink that. But keep it simple. Do your job. I can't tell you how many people I say that to all the time. I say, you just need to do your job. You're not doing it. You're showing up, but you're phoning it in, as I say. Number 6, adapt and learn from failure. Using your success to justify complacency is pretty common these days. It's also easy, which is why most people do it. Most people are going to do the easy thing. You can do more and be better. And finally, my 7th one today is live below your means. The more you need to work to maintain your needs, the less you'll enjoy what you have. Some people are kind of bored with that feeling. They understand that right away. Some people figure it out along the way, and some folks never do. And they wonder, why is life so stressful? Live below your means. If you need more, go earn more. That's all there is to it. Don't know how to do that? Go figure it out. Everything's figure-outable. 7 rules. Stoic rules that will change you if you just pay attention to them. You might want to go back and listen to this again. Everything in life comes down to keeping things simple and mastering the basics. That's how you get the success you deserve, the success you're going to earn, the success you should have in your life. It comes down to a foundation of basics, of stuff that's already been figured out, that we already know works. And if you do that, in between the lines along the way, you're able to do some pretty cool stuff outside of that. And then you get to create some new rules yourself. So tomorrow, seizing control. No more waiting. Would that be cool or what? Another bit of a list for you. How'd I get 2 lists in a row? It just happens sometimes. Guess I was in the mood for lists this week. We'll talk about seizing control. In the meantime, if you'd like to have some good social media fun, pick up on some positivity, a couple of really interesting discussions, depending on the day, just join me at my Facebook group, dailyboostpodcast.com/Facebook, an easy way to get there. If you would like this podcast commercial-free and join me for Boost Coaching and the Daily Nugget and the Daily Click, many of you already have that, but if you don't, just go to dailyboostpremium.com. Check it out. Any questions, just let me know. I'll see you tomorrow right here on the Daily Boost.